But first, let's start the conversation with the leader of the Republican Party, President Donald Trump. What does his approval rating look like now?
So right now, we see that his approval hasn't changed much since we last took a poll of his approval rating in June. Right now, it's at 46% approve, 47% disapprove. So that is just a -1. He is slightly underwater there. I think we see that the folks who like Trump are sticking with Trump, and the folks who dislike Trump are going to continue to dislike Trump and disapprove of his presidency.
That's really interesting. Let's talk about those demos just a little bit. Where is he seeing his strongest support, and where is he seeing his biggest disapproval?
Yeah, so he continues to see his strongest support, obviously among Republicans, but it's strongest among men, 53% approve, white voters, 52%, and then folks who are over the age of 70, 53%. So, those are certainly some of the core demographics that I think we tend to think of when we talk about MAGA or Trump generally. And that's definitely shown here.
And it hasn't really had much movement, this approval rating, in the past couple of months. So, what does that trajectory, or really lack thereof, indicate to you, if anything?
It's interesting. We have seen a trend of rising disapproval, 47% right now. But, otherwise, we see widespread disapproval of his policies. We can talk about that in a minute. But for the man himself, he still is remaining with his head just above water, so to speak. It's a really interesting trend. I don't know whether that disapproval number will go up. I think it might have settled here at 47%. And frankly, I'd be surprised to see it move significantly.
It's really interesting that people are able to separate the politician from the policies. And I do want to talk about some of those policies right now. Which ones do voters think he's doing a good job at? And where do they think that he could have some room for improvement? Where do they think he could do better when it comes to his policies?
Yeah, and I think if we take a step back and we look at all of these policies in total, none of them have overall approval. So right now, his highest is immigration with 45% approve, 46% disapprove. Everything else is underwater. His highest disapproval is on the economy. So 51% disapprove, 41% approve. His net approval is worse with tariff policy, 50% disapprove, 36% approve. This is where Republicans actually start to step away and step back from President Trump. He has 69% approval on tariff policy among Republicans versus 81% for immigration. Deportations, this is interesting. 48% disapprove, 43% approve. There's clearly a disconnect with immigration there. There's a lot going on here, but I think the overall broad picture is that Trump himself is popular, but his policies are unpopular with the electorate.